Good morning. The view from the pillbox. James here. Hello. Hello. There you go. Yes, the pillbox. Back in the pillbox. I've got my hat on today. My tit for tat. Right. Yes, it's cold outside. Actually, it's a glove wearing weather. But anyway, the thing I'd like to talk to you about this morning is sort of like I heard a video from the Britisher this morning, which is about the dilemma of Western society. And what he was talking about is Western society is a very tolerant society, and it allows it tolerates other religions, it tolerates other everything like homosexuality, it tolerates transsexual, it tolerates everything. But the thing is, the dilemma is what happens if you tolerate something that is completely intolerant of you. So if something comes, you're very tolerant, tolerate everything, and then you tolerate something that's intolerant of you, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger till it starts to dominate your culture and subjugate your culture because it's intolerant, and therefore your tolerance is the death of your culture. So it's sort of like you want to live in a tolerant, free society, but there has to be boundaries, and this is one of the things. And I've been thinking about this actually, and one of the Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, very very good book actually. If you haven't read it, do read it. But one of the chapters is don't turn your children into something, or don't let your children do things that you find despicable or you find distasteful, or you don't think is good. Don't turn your children into people that you wouldn't like, basically. And how you do that, having been a father, yes, and grandfather, is boundaries. You've got to give your children boundaries. Now, the members of my family or my extended family, things like that, who are bringing their children up without boundaries. And I say, and I keep saying like they're bringing up little despots, and it's quite funny because I don't tolerate kids without boundaries, so I let them know the boundaries straight away, funny enough, kids love that. Kids absolutely love that. They want to know where they bloody well stand. And if you're being all fluffy and woolly and saying like that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to try to negotiate. Negotiating with kids, negotiating with a 4-year-old. Now, why do you think that? No, you just have to tell them, no, that was wrong. You do not go there. End of. Okay. Yesterday, I went with my grandson to shops. It's quite funny. My daughter and my grandson, we came in. They've just moved house and they've got a lovely little house now. Thank God, thank you, Lord. Your prayer answered our prayers. It's really good because I didn't want my children to be homeless. It did look like for a while that they could well be, but thank you. Right at the last minute, something came up, which is quite often the case in life. But we went shopping, and Christmas is out, and he's only 2.5, and he's gorgeous. I love him to bits. Well, I would do. I'm biased on that one. And he said that there was all these things at kids' height, or this tractor and trailer set. He's obsessed with tractors and trailers. We live in the country. He sees tractors and things all the time, obsessed with them completely. He's a boy. And the little tractor and trailer set, very nice, die cast sort of thing like that. And he picked it up and he looked at me and all sweetness and love and light and said, "We buy this now. We buy this, Grandad." And I said, "Do you like that then?" And he said, "We buy this now, Grandad. We buy this." I said, "Do you like it then?" He said, "We buy this, Grandad." I said, "Nah." And he put him down. And my daughter said, "Oh my God, he's going to kick off because he's the terrible twos." And I said, "No, he ain't." and his bottom lip started going like that. And I said, "Right." I said, "Do you want that?" "Oh, we buy it." I said, "No, you're not buying that." I said, "But we will get it if you good. And if you wait till Christmas," he doesn't know what Christmas is. So I had to explain to him about what Christmas was like, you know. But I said, you wait till Christmas, you might get something like that. But if you bad, no, got burned. And the poor little bleeder, I was going to say, blighter, poor little blighter was sort of like holding my hands, walking around, and sort of thinking, I could see the cogs turning. No, I've got to be good. I've got to be good. But that was sort of like, that was another thing that Jordan Peterson sort of talked about. That was yeah, that was delayed gratification. You know, so teaching him about that. But the boundaries, you've got to have boundaries with your kids when you grow up, right? Okay, you've got to have boundaries within society. Yeah, the 12, you know, the 10 commandments are boundaries. Thou shalt not shag thy next door neighbour's wife, or shalt not shag thy next door neighbour's husband. You know, it's it's a boundary. You know, she may be absolutely gorgeous. She may be gagging for it. You know, because her husband's maybe really, really crap or anything like that. But you just don't go there. You just do not go there. Because if you go there, all hell will break loose in your life. And that's what happens. You know, I've seen it so many times. And then people, well, yeah, what do you expect's going to happen? For, you know, what did you expect was going to happen? You know, so, you know, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Yeah, these are boundaries, right? Okay, and we have to have boundaries. Now, Merkel, Macron, and all that lot, open borders. That's saying no boundaries, okay, you know, and it doesn't work because all you do when you drop the boundaries is allow chaos to rule. And why are they doing it? I mean, are they idiots? I do not know. I mean, is there an evil plan? Are they working for Satan? I do not know. Because we have to have boundaries. Countries have to have boundaries. And they're calling for an EU army. Right, okay. An EU army for a country or for a nation or for the nation of Europe, Macron was saying. There's never been a nation of Europe ever before in the history. Yeah. An army for the nation of Europe. A nation without boundaries, what's the army for then? The army is to subjugate the people within the nation. Yeah. Anybody gets uppity or things like that, you've got the army to come down on them. Right, okay. The army is not to protect, it's to subjugate. Okay, so this EU army is a no. Yeah. The more I see now, the more we got to get out of this bloody thing. Okay. We are lucky, this island. We're on an island, and we have a natural border that nature gave us. Yeah, the sea. Right. Okay. And don't ever forget that. That is our natural border. Right, okay. We've got to have borders. You've got to have boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, you have chaos. Okay? And, you know, and within society, you can allow people into your society. You can be tolerant to your society, but you've got to have boundaries and say, like, if you're bringing intolerance into our society, then we do not accept that. And you have to be firm and you have to be hard on that. Without that, you're just nothing. You're open to being completely and utterly dominated by everybody. Okay? So it's a dilemma for the Western society. They want to be free and open, but you have to have boundaries. And I can understand the social justice warriors, and I can understand the socialists. The socialists come from a very sort of like heartfelt position where they want it to be fair for everybody. But my granddad was a communist, actually. He's a complete communist. I mean, he was registered as a communist as well, like, you know. But I got a funny feeling in today's society he wouldn't be considered that much of a communist, but in back in the 1950s, 1960s, he was considered a bit of a communist. Well, he was a communist. He took the Red Star and everything like that. But he said to me one thing, right? Okay, when I was little. He said, "It ain't fair, and don't be late, because it isn't fair. Nature isn't fair. Life isn't fair. It isn't fair. And we can't make it fair, because when we try to make it fair, we have to introduce tyranny. And that is not fair. So it is impossible to make things fair. I know it's a wonderful desire, and you try to make things as better as they can, but it's an unachievable goal to make everything fair and equal. And don't be late." That's a very good thing. That means show respect. It's disrespectful to be late. Respect is respect, but respect has to be earned. It's not something you give away. Okay? It has to be earned, your respect. Otherwise, you do not respect yourself. And as the song says, you've got to respect yourself. Peace and love, people. More from the pillbox next time. Okay? And I'm going to go away now for a few days. I'll probably be back at the weekend. Have a lovely, lovely few days. And thank you very much, because you can catch me on Twitter. Throwing stones. Oh yeah, on Twitter, like, if you're not careful in Twitter, you could be sort of like in an echo chamber with people that agree with you all the time. So you're, oh yes. What I like to do on Twitter is actually follow a few people that I completely disagree with, and you get to see the other side. And also, I sort of like to sort of comment on things that not abusive, but try to put things into throw stones into their pond to sort of disrupt their thing, and try to engage them in conversation, because basically what I get when I put something in there quite often is a string of abuse comes back. You wanker, you toss pipe, yeah. But the problem is, if we're all in our own echo chambers, you have the left and you have the right and whatever. I don't agree with left and right, to be quite honest, but people you think like I do, and people who think like social justice warriors and everything like that. I think they're all in their own echo chambers and basically they demonize and we demonize them. Basically, if you dehumanize each other, and that's a very, very, very dangerous thing to do. So if you interact, right, okay, A, you see the humanity in the other side, and B, there's a chance of finding some common ground if you're actually talking with people you disagree with. Talk to people you disagree with. Very good. I find it very hard. But you have to do it. You have to do it. And they come up with these arguments that, you think, but that's all right. Just be calm, be nice, and just say and stand on your ground and tell the truth. Because as Jordan Peterson says again, but one of the things about if you're speaking the truth, you're on firm ground, okay? You're not on quicksand, okay? If you say the truth, once you say a lie in a discussion, in an argument, you've lost that argument. They will totally destroy you, okay? Anyway, 14 minutes, bloody hell. I could talk for England. The Britisher. Veritas Blizzard. No, Blizzard Veritas. Go and see. Subscribe to him. Blizzard Veritas. He needs more subscribers. But his I don't know what YouTube does, but quite often he has more likes than he has views. So their counters are they're doing something with their counters. Anyway, but God love YouTube. I know it's probably run by lefties, but we're here and allowing us to talk. Thank God for YouTube. Cheers.